Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, or wherever you are today. Thank you for tuning into my page. Today, my interviewee is Rico. And thank you, Rico, for coming on and for chatting with me today. I would like to ask you to introduce yourself, please.
Thank you so much, Kim. I appreciate that. This is one of the things I really love about the online business. I've never been to Newfoundland over there, but I feel like I'm there this morning, and I live here in Calgary, Alberta. This is good. This is the global part of our network that we get to reach far and wide. Anyhow, my name is Ricot Leon, as you just heard. I'm a guy from the Caribbean down in Haiti. That's where I grew up. But I've been in Canada for about almost 20 years now. And I reside in Calgary, Alberta. Currently, I'm married. I have 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls. And so we just love life. We love spending time together, as most parents do, love spending time with their kids. Also, as of a year and a couple months ago, I have become an entrepreneur, as an online entrepreneur, digital marketer, entrepreneur, whatever name we choose to call it. Bottom line is I am an entrepreneur because I'm in control of both my time and my finances by taking the chance to jump online since this 21st century, everything has moved online anyhow. So this is who I am, and I'm excited to chat with you and all you guys today, and those will be watching on replay. And so this is a pleasure.
Well, thank you for agreeing to chat with me today. So could I ask you, my first question is, tell me a little bit about your struggles and your pain points and what brought you to this business in the beginning? Like, what were you doing before, and what was it that made you want to look for an online business or look for any business maybe?
Well, good question. That's a very good question. Well, as I said, left Haiti about 20 years ago, but my heart really never left. Because Haiti is the poorest country in the Western world. In me growing up there, I saw a lot of things that I would love to have changed if I had the power, the might, the funds, and all put together. So when I moved to Calgary, I went to theological school. I graduated as a theologian and then got ordained as a minister. My wife and I were newlywed at the time, 6 months, but we felt like instead of like getting started in North America, buying a house and turn around and be locked down to pay for the house for 30 years down the road, we just like, God, free-spirited young people, let's go make a difference. And of course, my first choice was, let's go back down to Haiti. So we went down to Haiti and started a nonprofit and focusing on helping young people in the country, mainly young orphans, people who grew up in the orphanages who now became at the age of 18. It was time for them to leave the orphanage and had nowhere to go. So we started this project just to help them transition from the orphanage into an independent lifestyle. But in order to, we thought to best able to help them was to teach them the skills of starting their own small businesses or business in small scale. So we felt that was the way out. So with that mindset, business had always been in the forefront of who I was, who I am, and what I do. It's teaching people business because business is the way to go, not employment. But one thing that happened while we were in Haiti, we were there for about 8 years from 2008 on, and we loved it. But here's one thing: as missionaries lived off charity. So we traveled from place to place to raise money to sustain ourselves, sustain our family, and fund the ministry. But the beauty of being in the Caribbean is time doesn't really exist. So we had the liquidity of time. If we wanted to take a week off because we're burnt out, we could take a week off. We didn't have to ask a boss permission or nothing. But there was no money to enjoy the time off that we would take. It's not like we could take a week and go to Paris. There's no money. You're living off charity, right? I mean, you're broke. So, but by 2016, when we finally resettled back in Calgary, because at the time our kids were growing and we felt like it would be great to come and give them beginning here in early childhood development and schools and all here in Canada, I decided for the first time, I'd like to start making some money to start saving for the future, because we spent the last 8 years not saving anything. I mean, we made nothing. So I got a good job, a really good job in town as a salesperson. And I started working, and I was making quite a bit of money. For the first time, I was making anywhere from 80 to 100 grand a year. And I just like, wow, this is a lot of, to me, that was a lot of money. And I'm excited. So I'm feeling like, yes, I'm finally getting a piece of this North American pie. But there was one thing, I had no time. I mean, I was working, making the cash, but no time to use the money. Except for my boss said, like, well, you had to work for 50 weeks a year and only 2 weeks a year to enjoy it, right? So there goes my 52 weeks for the year. So here I am making the money, no time to spend it, but I had lots of time, no money to enjoy. So I was just like, okay, there has to be a way
Yes.
where you can combine both the time and the money together to just enjoy life and to do what it is that your heart desires to do. So this is the thing that got me into the rush, start looking just like there has to be a way. Since one thing I learned early on in life, success leaves clue. If you want to be successful or anything you want to do, all you have to do is look for people who's doing it and you'll be able to do it too. That's what we do every day, right? If you want to be a mechanic, what do? Do you just get up and become a mechanic? No, you go and find mechanics, like a mechanic school, or you start learning what other people have already learned. You don't reinvent the wheel. So I started looking. For a business that could provide both time and finances. And so I did check a lot of them. I have to tell you, I checked a lot of things. I even did physical kind of businesses. I bought a truck. I thought I was going to be in the junk removal company. And except for after I purchased the truck, the very same week I purchased the truck, the engine fried because it was an older vehicle. So I lost all my money. And I thought like, okay, this is one thing I don't want to do. But here's the thing. I didn't fret it. I didn't cry about it because why? My view was you will not find unless you keep looking for what you want to look. And by looking and looking and looking, I ended up on this platform, which has worked magic for me.
Awesome. Sounds amazing. I love your journey about being missionaries back in your home country. That's amazing. All right. So you found this business. So when you found it first, I guess like everybody, you may have been a bit skeptical. How did you know this business was real? Why this particular business when there's so many online?
Well, I'm a pastor to begin with. We pastors are very skeptical people. I mean, that's just who we are. By nature, we question everything in the world. We're afraid of everything. We're very, that's why they call us very conservative in thinking, because we're afraid the world is out to get us. Unfortunately, that's just something that sticks with us as ministers, because we're just like, we're always look out. So being skeptical, yes. I am number one skeptical person in the world. There's nothing that's more skeptical than I am. And it has cost me a lot. But with that said, I do have an open mindset that I am willing to try things cautiously, of course. And so that's why I went and burned a lot of money with buying vehicles. I jumped on the Amazon. I dumped a lot of cash on Amazon. Why? Because it had already been proven and tested. I just like, okay, I know what I'm getting into. This is not a scam. So I jump into Amazon, except for realize Amazon, what I was looking for, that's not what they were offering. Not that it doesn't work, but that's not what I was looking really for, right? So after losing so much money there, but because one thing I believe, the Bible says, he who seeks find. If you keep seeking, you'll find. Whatever it is that you're looking for, that's what you find, right? Absolutely. And that's me. At one time, I was looking for a job. Guess what I found? A job. When I was in university, I was looking for a companion, a life mate. And guess what I found? I found a girlfriend, because that's what I was looking for. Whatever you look for, you find it. That's just life. So at the time, I had to make it deep in mind, I'm looking for a business. So the fact that I was looking for a business, so I kept trying many different businesses. I didn't know which was good or which was bad, but I was trying. Because I was trying, I ended up at an insurance company place where I was selling insurance, assuming that's what was going to give me the freedom of time I was looking for. Just to my surprise, I realized the insurance company world takes a lot of your time, because you have to find prospects, talk to people, knock on people's doors. And I thought, like, this is not what I want to do. I want something to free me, not to lock me in again. Okay. But because I went to the insurance company, I ran into a young couple. The young couple was there and they were doing the insurance and we became friends. And later while they decided to go in and explore the online world, but I didn't follow them because I just like, wow, whatever you guys, I'm going to, just try to see if this insurance thing will work while you leave. That was in October 2018, that young couple left. But because we were friends now, I stayed and followed their journey on Facebook. And now they were talking about a business they were doing. I'm just like, what are you guys doing? For 1 year, I didn't follow them because it was online. 1 year. That was my biggest mistake. So finally, within 2019, this young couple who I knew quite well, within 1 year, they were able to pay $86,000 in consumer debt. And I was just like, oh, how did you guys do that? You guys never used to have money. I mean, how do you do that? Their lives went from 1 to 100, like boom, almost overnight.
Wow.
So at that moment, I had to swallow my pride and said, like, guys, I need to know what's happening. So unlike many people, I didn't start this business by seeing an ad because I would have never joined. That's how skeptical I am. Never. There's no way I would have. But because I was seeking and I ran into them and now I saw their lives transform, I called them up. I said, like, I need to know, what are you doing? And they said, hey, Ricot, all we can tell you, we watch a webinar that changed our lives. So we will send you a webinar link. You can watch it yourself and see if it works for you. If it doesn't, just say bye-bye. I said, I don't care what it is. If it worked for you, it'll work for me too. So I remember they sent me a link. I watched a webinar. And after I watched the webinar, I said, I am in 100%. And I jumped in. So that's what led me in. As a skeptical person, I am glad that I was seeking and I ran into a couple who became physical proof for me. And that physical proof made 100% certainty.
Amazing. What an amazing story. Yeah, we're very skeptical too. So I can certainly understand that as well. So you've been doing the business for about 1.5 years, maybe?
Yeah, 1 year and 2 months now. 1 year and 2 months, 14 months old. So I consider myself as a rookie or a newbie or whatever it is that we would call it. But it's been an amazing journey because of the things that I've been able to learn and the skills that I've garnered. And it's like my mind is every day I'm pinching myself, just like, is this truly me? Is this truly me? This is unbelievable.
I know, it's amazing. So last question, how has your life changed since you started the business?
There's a lot of great things that has happened. Like, I think the finance is the least of all the changes. I mean, the finance is great. Don't take me wrong, because I was looking for a way to be financially secured. This part is great. But the thing that I've really, really enjoyed and the major change that has really, really occurred is that the stress is gone. So having stress gone, and a lot of people never realize what kind of stress they live on day to day. Stress of not knowing whether you're going to make ends meet, but knowing that I don't have to worry about the university for my kids going forward in the future. That is literally taken care of. Like it's right in front of my eyes. This stress is gone. I have 4 of them, right? Yeah. Stress of knowing as a missionary for retirement, this stress is gone. Like, it's just not even there anymore. My choices are different now. Like, I don't go to the store trying to make a decision whether I'm going to get the $75 steak or the $20 steak. I just choose the steak I love. I mean, this is that's a big difference, right?
It's a big difference.
I go in the restaurant. I don't look at the menu to just like, oh my, what can I afford? I just like, what do I love to eat? And it's just simple, tiny little shift changes things. But another big thing that I really, really, really love and enjoy is that it has shown me how the world is so small. I've always said the world is so small. I never really understood truly how. Now, I have friends, business partners in Australia, England, South Africa, Canada. The world is that small now, where when I talk to my business partners, I said, okay, next time I'm in Australia, I know where to go. I know who to call. And it's just like, oh, of course, absolutely. And it's just like, wow. To me, this is a major, major, major change that I could have never found it running a junk removal truck. It would have never happened that way, right?
Absolutely.
So to me, I feel this is something I was looking for, and I have found it. And I thank God, because everything works out for the best.
Amazing. It's an amazing journey. Is there any last words you'd like to have for any of my viewers out there who are sitting on the fence and wondering if this is real? Should I do it? Should I not? Any last words for them?
Well, my encouragement for many people is this. We as a species, as a human species, we are always afraid of change. That's just who we are, right? All of us are the same way. I am no different than you are, who's looking at me, who's thinking whatever it is that you're thinking. I'm the same way. We resist change. My dad is a big resistor of change. I remember when internet first arrived in the Caribbean back in the early 90s, and I would sneak out the house to go to like what we call a cyber cafe. They arrange a whole bunch of computers and you would go in the chat room to chat with people all around the world. To me, as a very young teenager at the time, that was just phenomenal. It was amazing. For the first time, I'm speaking to somebody in Russia and typing back in the chat. You remember these days, right? I mean, it feels like a long time ago, but it wasn't that long ago.
No.
When my dad found out that I had an email address, my dad punished me as a pastor He punished me because he felt like this is the 666 mark of the beast. You just entered in the mark of the beast. My dad was so upset and just like, how many people who's losing their reputation because of this internet thing. He was resistor of change, not because he hated it. He was just cautious. That's just life. We are cautious human. But I'll never forget, about 8 years ago, I went down to Florida when my dad retires. And when I went and visited him, Dad said, "Hey, Rico, I need help." I said, "What is it, Dad?" He said, "I'm trying to start an email address. Can you help me start an email address?" I said, "Are you kidding me, Dad? I mean, you must forget what happened, right?" But here's the thing. A lot of people think that way. Most of us, if we could go back to 2008, 2009, when Bitcoin was a new thing at the time, everybody was talking Bitcoin. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Bitcoin was going in for like cents, $10, $300. Yeah. And at the time I was afraid of it because of the name. Now looking back, I wish like, man, if I knew then what I know now, I would have sold my house just to buy all the Bitcoin there was, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
But that's in the rearview mirror. That's the way we live our lives. We tend to look in the rearview mirror saying like, I wish I did. But here's the thing. The people who make it in life are the people who don't look in the rearview mirror wishing you did, or people who look in the front mirror and front window and see the opportunity and jump at it. That's the people who actually make it. And now seeing last year, Bitcoin hit $60,000 and now it dropped down to 30,000, but still went from $10 to $30,000. My goodness, can you imagine where you and I would have been today had we known, but we didn't know. And this is the same thing that's happening right now. Everything is moving online and we don't know. 10 years from today, most people will be saying, I wish I did. But I am glad this time, Kim, you and I are some of the very few who decide just like, we will not be saying, I wish 10 years down the road. Matter of fact, we'll be saying we're glad we did. So that's my encouragement to you. If you're afraid, you don't know where to start, just find somebody who's successful. Ask them how they did it, because success leaves clue, follow their trail. But the thing is, if you sit on the fence, 5 years from today, you'll still be exactly where you are. Because if you don't know where you want to be, you're already there. So that's the honest truth, and that's the harsh truth. So.
Well, that's so true. Words of wisdom from Rico this morning. So thank you so much. I do pray many blessings upon your business as you move forward. You're still a rookie, but you're not really a rookie. You've been doing this for over a year, so I think you're doing amazing. And I do pray many blessings upon you and your business, your family, and your children. And thank you so much for chatting with us today. So that's all for today, folks. We will check in with you again next week. Thanks, Rico, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
I appreciate that.